All right, joining us now on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline, Seattle Kraken GM Ron Francis. Ron, how's it going?
It's good. I'm got my bags packed, and I'm anxiously waiting to get on my plane to catch up with the team in Ottawa. But unfortunately, my flight's a little delayed. But it's been a fun week here watching Shane win the gold medal.
I was just gonna ask a bit more about that. What'd you make of his performance?
I thought it was good. He did all the little things that you need to do to help a team be successful and win. He was on the right side of the puck. He was very conscientious of his two-way game, the 200-foot game. It wasn't just about all trying to put up points and, wearing the C for that team. That's the kind of leadership I think that you want. And it was great to see him do that. And then I don't know if you all had a chance to see the goal he scored last night, but that was a pretty special individual effort. So a lot of real positive things and just a great experience with him. I had breakfast with him this morning, and he was beaming ear to ear with his time here in the gold medal. So it was exciting.
Ron, when you look at Shane and his development, is he past where you thought he would be at this point of his career? Is he exactly where he needs to be? What are your thoughts overall about his game?
Yeah, you know what? I think if he had been in juniors the whole year, he wouldn't be to where he is at this point. He got to play 5 exhibition games and regular season NHL games. He got a 2-week stint in the American Hockey League where he got to play 5 years and experience that level of competition. He got to go play for his country and win a gold medal in the toughest junior tournament, the World Juniors, and now he's going to go back to junior. Most likely Kingston will trade him to a team that is a contender there. So he's going to play on a good team. And again, very meaningful games down the stretch and competing for the Memorial Cup, which is the, Canadian Junior Hockey League's version of the Stanley Cup. And, so a lot of things I think really helping his development, and we're pleased with where he is. There's still things to work on, and we've sent him with that message, and I know he's the kind of kid that will continue to do that.
I was going to say, I think that when there are a lot of new hockey fans in Seattle, I mean, lots of old ones, lots of existing ones, but some new ones, and I think that people rely on existing knowledge. So when they see, Shane Wright sent back to OHL Kingston, I think they think, is it a demotion? Is it bad? But he's a young player, and this is about development, like you said. Can you speak a little bit about the kind of development that he can get there and through this experience, and specifically some of those things you want him to work on?
Yeah, so I mean, the first thing foremost is people need to understand he's still property of the Seattle Kraken. He will wear our jersey, probably as soon as next year. But if he's with us, he's in and out of games probably here down the stretch, and his minutes are probably limited. Whereas if he goes back to junior, he's going to be one of the key players in whatever team he's at. He's going to play a lot of minutes. He's going to play in all situations. So from that standpoint, we think it's better for his development to go that route at this point. People tend to forget with COVID a couple of years ago, the Ontario League shut down. He missed an entire season of development. So, that hurts. We don't want to have that happen again and sort of compound on that without giving him a chance to play and play a lot. You look at, everything he's done, he's going to be fine. He's just turned 19 years old yesterday. What people tend to forget sometimes too is with Maddie, we sent him back. He was in Michigan the entire year last year, and then it was at the end of the year that he was allowed to come out and play with us. So, he was in essence a full year older than Shane when we brought him into the NHL. So Shane is still very young. It's the best league in the world for a reason, and very rarely do 18-year-old kids jump in and play and certainly have an impact. And, his draft class is no different. The number 1 kid, Slavkovsky, is playing in Montreal, Nemish at 2, Cooley at 3, now Shane at 4, and even, Gauthier at 5, have not had the chance to, other than Slavkovsky, to play in the NHL this year. So, this is the right thing for him. We want him to work on using his assets more effectively, angling to generate speed when he gets a puck on his stick, skating with that speed and hanging onto the puck. Those are some of the basic things we want to do, and we think he's better suited to have that opportunity to work on that in junior than he is with us at the NHL right now.
Well, from one young player to the next, Matty Beniers has his first NHL AllStar selection. Is this something you expected, looking at the year that he was having, or were you guys kind of surprised with this whole deal?
Yeah, kind of said going back to last year at the end of the year when we brought him up, I was surprised with how well he played. I knew he was a good player, but I thought it would take him some more time to adjust, and he stepped in last year. And then you, as a GM, you worry, okay, you had that success in 10 games. Is he really going to put the time and effort he needs to in the summer? But, Matty's the kind of kid, he's just terrific. He came right in from day one of training camp and worked extremely hard. He sets the pace along with some of our other veteran guys in practice and in games. He's just always working. So, we're really excited that he's got this opportunity. The league picked him to represent us in the AllStar game. And, we know he'll represent us well.
Been a good week for the Kraken. You had the 5-2 win over the Oilers earlier this week on Tuesday. Obviously, the 5-1 win over Toronto. We've seen, still some things that this young expansion team is working on and being a little uneven with, and yet they feel like they've taken a huge step forward this year in so many other ways. Where are some of those areas where you've seen a lot of improvement?
Well, I think in the overall, lineup, you look at, we were able to sign some unrestricted free agents in the summer. Burakovsky being one, Schultz on the back end being two, Jones and the goaltender when Drieger got hurt. We needed a goaltender. We were able to sign Jones. That certainly helped in our lineup. We were able to make a trade for Bjorkstrand. That helped in our lineup. Matty is in our lineup full time this year that he wasn't last year. And then people forget we lost, Jaden Schwartz last year, right when he was leading the team in scoring. He's back and healthy. We lost Brandon Tano in early December last year. So what's that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys, that kind of changed the look of our team. So I think we've become faster, which is what we wanted to do. We've become more skilled. I think we're able to sort of possess the puck and create more opportunities in the offensive zone. I think our power play started off great, had a real tough spell there, but now is starting to get back to scoring, which is good. And, I think we're a group of guys that understand we have to come and work hard every night. And, if we do that and the skill that we've kind of added to the lineup, that gives us a better chance to win. And fortunately for the guys, they're getting some results. And, I think it's exciting for our guys to do that in front of our fans.
Ron, one of the things I miss about sports is just the chemistry of the team on the road, in the locker room. When you're around this team, do they feel like a team that really enjoys playing with each other and being around each other?
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm probably a little different than other GMs in that regard. I played, I was fortunate enough to play a long time, and I feel comfortable in the locker room, so I'm not afraid to kind of walk in there almost on a daily basis when I'm around. And, I think there's a lot of pressure on these guys, as you know, when you're playing, and sometimes it's not to go down there and sort of, say, hey, you need to be better. It's to go down there and kind of give them a hug and say things are going to be okay. But, our guys, one thing we focused on when we tried to build this team was character individuals. We wanted them representing the Seattle Kraken, the community of Seattle, our fans, extremely well on the ice, but also out in the community. And so we look for guys with a lot of character. And I think our locker room, even guys that have left, on the way out have said, hey, man, you've got a great group here. It's a lot of fun to be a part of. I'm sorry I'm leaving. Guys coming in saying the same thing. Really love the way this organization and the fans treat our players, and you got a great group of players in the room. So that chemistry is certainly there, and it's nice to see them have some success so they can help build off of that.
Weird question that I don't know if you can answer, and obviously you would never be specific with names, but I'm curious as to how much character and chemistry matter specifically with team building, because I'm used to cover the Seahawks, and they would make a lot of decisions based on that. Are there guys where you've been like, you know what, he would be a good addition to the team, he might help the team, but he wouldn't be good for the kind of culture we want, and then you passed on him?
Absolutely. It started with the expansion draft. We do it every year on our amateur draft. Just because somebody's a good player doesn't mean he's going to make our draft roster. We're looking for certain things in our people that we want to bring into the organization. So we have passed on players who are good players, just said, take them off our list based on our intel and what we're hearing about the individual. So that is extremely important to us. And whether it's drafting, whether it's expansion draft, whether it's making trades or signing free agents, we factor that in for sure when we're making that final decision.
Ron, the last 3 games, man, you guys have gotten it done 4-1, 5-2, 5-1. Is there something specific you can point at to say, okay, this is the reason why we've been able to string these games together, and let's keep that thing going?
Yeah, it's a long season, 82 games, and you kind of go through peaks and valleys. We went through a stretch there. We went 12-1-1. And as much as that was enjoyable, you could see the signs starting to come. With the amount of games we had, we're giving days off in between, and it started to slip a little bit. I think maybe we thought we were a little better than we were, and we didn't have to work as hard as we did during that 12-1-1 stretch. And we kind of had a little couple tough, rough patches there to sort of get through. But I think the last 3 games for me, we're back to working the way we need to work. And, I think when we do that, and as I said earlier, our team and our character and our ability, I think that gives us the best chance to win. So happy to see them back and working that way, and happy to see them getting results. And especially, this is a heck of a trip, right? It's 7 games in 13 days. We go back home for 1 day, play an afternoon game, and go back on the road. So a real tough stretch for the team. And to start this trip 2-0 is huge for our guys. Hopefully we can continue tomorrow night in Ottawa.
I appreciate the transparency, Ron, of saying, we probably felt like we were a little better. Like we felt like we were pretty good. But I think it's important to know, and it's interesting to hear, because there are a lot of young guys, and you probably go through those. You have the unique perspective of having played professional hockey. Is there anything you remember learning, either a hard lesson or just an adjustment in the first year or 2 of your career that you can see happening for young guys here in Seattle?
Yeah, I don't know. I think you just come in and you're you put so much pressure on yourself, right? And there's already pressure on the outside. On one hand, unfortunately, I guess I'm so old that there wasn't all this added social media sort of thing thrown on top of you back in my day. It was, you're getting your scouting reports via faxes and and then reading the newspaper if you want to read the article back then. But now there's so much attention, right? And there's so much pressure on these guys. And I go back, it actually happened. I was traded to Pittsburgh, and we won a couple cups, and we were going through a tough stretch sort of one season. And I walked into the area where you get a cup of coffee at the same time the GM walked in, Craig Patrick, and I'm thinking to myself, oh no, why did I come in at this point? We've lost 5 in a row, and here's the GM, and he says, how you doing? And I give him the token athlete answer, right? Well, it'll be better when we win a game, and he's like, you know what, we're good, we'll be fine, we're going to win a hockey game, everything will be good. And you go, yeah, you know what, he's right, we are good, we're going to be fine, we're going to win a hockey game, let's go have some fun and enjoy what we're doing. As long as I got to play in 23 years, it seems to go by in a blink. So I think we sometimes forget to take the moment to just sort of enjoy where we're at and what we're doing, and realize that, hey, as long as we're working hard and giving everything we have, things for the most part will hopefully turn out well. And that's kind of the message you try and give to our young guys. If there's certain specific things in their game, whether it's face-offs or positioning, the coaches are working with that. I'm happy to help in that regard too. But the biggest thing is making sure these guys, are maintaining that confidence and belief that they're good players and they can play at this level for a long time.
All right, last question. We'll be kind of quick with it. And I don't know what you can tell us. It's early, but how's the trade market shaping up so far? I know the deadline early March. Yeah,
deadline's on March 3rd. A lot of kicking tires, a lot of things haven't happened. It'll be interesting to see now with this tournament and the success that Mr. Bedard had in it, whether that speeds up some teams trying to move players or not. But for us, we're still early in this build process. We want to make sure that we stick to our plan and build this a long time. But if there's pieces that we feel we can add that makes sense, that help us be more successful, we're certainly open to doing that as long as the price is right.
All right, again, that trade deadline is March 3rd, and the Seattle Kraken are back at it tomorrow, 4 p.m. He is Kraken GM Ron Francis, kind enough to join us today. Thanks so much, Ron.
Thanks, Ron.
Thank you both. Really appreciate your time.